Okay, y'all. So, your boy Ray's got great news, y'all. Great news, great news, great news. It doesn't get any better than this. So, I interviewed a guy yesterday that has been trying to get with me for a couple weeks. He called me and he came over and we talked, and I'm going to hire him. So he's going to be the guy running the second truck. This creates a little bit of an issue with my new young guy that I got out here, but the young guy is not ready to run the other truck, and only I can determine that. So the new guy that I hired him, I went on and hired him. He used to do this for a living. He had his own gig, and then he went through some stuff, just like a lot of people do, and he ended up not being in business for himself no more. He worked at one of the local businesses around here, not in this field, but warehouse or something, one of the textile plants around here, and he was a supervisor. He was there for 20 years. So he's 40-something years old, real calm, cool demeanor, ain't desperate for money, had got his own vehicle. Well, he's grown. Most of the time I have guys out here that ain't grown, let's just face it. So I hired him, and he's going to help me this summer. He's going to be the one running the other truck. I know I told the other guy that I was going to let him run the truck, but that was on the consensus that the other guy was a lot further along than he actually is. So a little bit of a curveball for him. It's a great curveball for me. My thinking is, well, let me say this first. So the dude came over yesterday, and we talked in the shop for about 2 hours. I feel super comfortable with him. I feel like he's grown. I feel like he doesn't have any of the issues that I've ever seen, with any other guys out here. He doesn't have a problem, drug problem. Of course, nobody tells you they got a drug problem. He doesn't have an alcohol problem. Of course, nobody tells you they have an alcohol problem. But the feeling that my 54-year-old mentality has with him is very comforting. Now, could I be wrong? Well, of course, right? And having the other guy out here, the younger man out here, and thinking that he would be ready to run the other truck, that's simply not the case. He's never going to be ready to run the other truck this year. He just doesn't have the experience that I needed him to have. I haven't had a conversation with him yet, but I will. Where it's going to get dicey at, and it's not going to change the results, but it's going to get dicey for the young man, because the young man is now not going to be running the other truck. That's the way it's got to be, right? It's got to be like that, because I'm not going to not seize the moment when I feel like I feel about the older guy and everything. Not to mention that the younger guy is going to take a cut in pay if he stays out here. The other guy's not going to be able to make what he's been making. So that's where it's going to get dicey, because and that's where I probably made a mistake. But I made the mistake in good conscience and in good thinking, because the younger guy told me that he had experience out here, and he may have a little bit, but not the kind of experience that I think that you need, right, to run the other truck. I'm not going to just, if you don't know how to run a weed eater right, and you don't know how to crank the mowers up, and you don't, and you're leaving equipment at jobs, and a lot of other little things that I'm seeing with the young man, then I would be super uncomfortable letting the young man run the other truck. Even now, if I sent him to do a job in my neighborhood, I would be super uncomfortable with that. And that's everything. Right? I got to be comfortable with you driving the truck. I got to be comfortable with you having the ability to do the properties in a timely, orderly fashion, making money. if you don't have the experience of doing that then and I got somebody that does, then business is business. Well, Ray, man, you're doing that young man wrong, man. You told him that. Yeah, I'm not going to take a hit. I've taken hits for 15, 17 years out here, having guys out here that are not qualified that I have to train and go through, and then they end up having problems. The number one thing I think that the young man's going to have, and I've mentioned it before, is he's going to have a problem getting to work at some point. Now, I can say that all I want. It hasn't happened yet, but I know, as well as most grown folks know, that there's going to be a problem with him getting to and from work at some point. He lives approximately 18 miles from here, 16 miles from here, one way. And he's got to be here around 8 in the morning, so you catch all the school traffic, and there's 2 schools he has to ride by to get here. I'm not going to change all the timing of when he comes to work for that, and plus you can't change the timing too much because he's depending on somebody else, and it's costing him, right? But this older guy coming in, I got to seize the moment, y'all. I have to. And when you guys meet him or whatever, you guys will see what I see probably. I'm stoked about having a new guy. I hate the part about having to tell the young guy, what I got to tell him. But I'm going to do it. There's no way that I'm going to pick the young guy that don't know anything over the guy that does. I'm not going to take a chance like that, because guys that know what they're doing out here and that are down to earth and available, good self-discipline, and all the traits that you really look for in a solid employee, I'm not going to let that slip by, because it's taken 17 years to get to a guy like that in my world, and me being in a spot to be able to accommodate a guy like that. So it's a whole new territory for me. I'm excited, a little nervous, but I think it's going to be a good move. I think it's going to be the smart move, and all that. So, well, the main thing is, how is the young man gonna react, right? He's not gonna be running the second truck, and it ain't nothing personal. It's just, and then y'all know as well as I know that once you pay somebody a certain amount of money, it's hard to go down on that money, and start paying them less. And when you hire another guy to take the spot they thought they were going to take, I may just have to let the young man go if I see that it's going to be an attitude problem, because he's going to be in the other truck with the other guy too. He's going to be in this truck. The young man needs a whole season out here in the truck with somebody before he's even thinking about being ready to run on the second rig. He doesn't know enough. He doesn't know what to look for on the jobs. He doesn't know the procedures and all that you need to know to make money. And if you're running the second truck, you've got to make money, because I'm paying you good money. So just with a few things that has gone on, it's not detrimental, but little things. Number one, not having your own transportation to work. I know that's going to cost me somewhere along the line. Number two, left a weed eater at a job that's 30 minutes away from here. That happens, but if that was just it, then it'd be different. Number three, he burned a hole in my freaking Cougar with the muffler of a mower. How do you do that? I've had all these J's out here for years, and that's never happened. I got a Yeti cooler that the top, there's a hole in the top like this, and those Yeti coolers, I don't know if y'all know, but that plastic is really freaking thick and hard. That muffler had to sit on there in order to do the damage, and I'll show y'all a picture of it. And then on top of all that, not knowing what I need him to know. Now, if I didn't have this other guy come at me, with all this experience and everything, then I would be forced to continue on and hope for the best, right? But for me not to hire this guy and to continue going like I'm going with the young guy, I'm not willing to do that. We'll try to keep them both on. If it comes between the older guy and the young guy, the older guy is going to win because he brings more to the table. He costs me more too, but I don't mind paying more if I don't have to worry about all these things that I'm having to worry about right now. So we'll see how it plays out. But know this, that I'm going to roll with the 40-year-old guy hardcore. And we had a long talk about everything. So the pay structure, taxes, all the things that, and he doesn't need his money every day, you know, and all that. Payday's on Friday. See, the young man is trying to force me to pay him every day, and I'm not. And I done told him I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'm not going to continue in that illusion world that I've been living in ever since I've been in business. I'm just not going to continue to do that. I'm going to take a chance on paying somebody more experience, more money, and not have all those little things that I'm having to deal with. So now the young man has been to work every day that he's supposed to be. You know, it's, you know, but I'm paying him too much money too, and that's my fault. And I know that he's going to get an attitude when I go down on the pay, and that's okay. He can get an attitude, and we can go our separate ways, or he can be humble and be grateful that he's got a job and be eager to learn to get to that spot in the truck. But he ain't going into the summer like that, even if he doesn't work out here at all. So me and the other guy, I need a counterpart. I don't need a kid. I need a counterpart. I thought that the young man would come out here and, you know, being 30 years old and having worked for a landscaper before, I thought that he would be much further along in his skills than he is. Everybody tells you that they're great. You know, nobody tells you that they're sorry or they don't know what, you know, they need to know. They don't tell you that. They think that they, and then when they start getting paid like that, then that gives me an attitude, because I see that they're not worth what I'm paying, and I base the pay on what he knew, what he told me he knew, and it's not even close, to be honest. So yeah, and there's a new guy, the 40-year-old just pulled up. He's gonna help me do some stuff around the house, around the shop real quick. I can't call the young man around to do the shop, right? Because, well, it cost him to get here. He didn't have his own ride, so that's money he's gonna miss out on. Anyway, I'll kick back with you guys. I'll introduce the new guy. Let me see how he feels about being on camera and all that, and I'll introduce the new guy at some point. Okay, guys, so the new guy came in and was going to help me rip that paper off the ceiling of the shop, but we got a call from a homeowner that's about 8 miles away, and he needs 15 holes dug, and he's gonna pay $800. So that's what we're gonna go do. So we decided we weren't gonna rip the plastic down. We're gonna go get this $800. It shouldn't take us no more than about 2 hours and 30 minutes of drive time. So I don't think I might have got more, but I'm good with 800 on this particular job. I don't normally like to bring the skid steer out, but we ain't got nothing more lucrative going on, and it's really going to help the bottom line this week. So, and I get an insight into the new guy's stuff that he's doing. Okay, y'all. So we're over here at this job that the guy called me about this morning. and it's 15 holes. I'm gonna try to get some footage. It's $800, and we're gonna see. It's 120 right now, and yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So seems to be a cool guy, but I don't know. We'll just have to see about how he feels about recording and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just gonna set that because I see a lot of foot traffic walking around.